Hey everyone, it's Dave, and today we're going to talk a little bit about perspective, how to incorporate it into your drawings and paintings. And while this isn't meant to be a comprehensive study on perspective drawing, it should demystify some of the scarier aspects of perspective drawing. So today we're just going to go ahead and jump on into it, and I'm going to draw a horizon line. Now, horizon line is just basically if the camera is looking straight forward, that's the eye level of the camera. In concept art, you're typically going to see that the horizon line is human head height. And in most cases, this is probably going to be what you'll do. So if you were looking at this as a photograph, this horizon line is human head height looking straight to the horizon, and that's how you set up your horizon line. There are instances where you would want the horizon to be lower or higher, but that's going to change a lot of what your images will look like and how to treat each one of the objects in the image. But for now, in this case, we're just going to cover the basic of it's human head height looking straight ahead. So this is our horizon, and you'll hear a lot about what's called vanishing points, which would be ends of the line anywhere along the line. And this is basically the edges of the horizon to the eye. We're not going to go too deep into that because I feel like that's a little bit more involved. But what you need to know is that a vanishing point is basically the edges of normal vision. That's where the horizon basically ends to the image. But what we want to discuss is what the horizon line means and how to behave with that, with your drawings and everything inside of it. So when you're looking at it at head height straight on, all of the objects above the horizon line are going to be above the head. So you'd be seeing the bottom of everything, and everything below the horizon line would be below the head. So you'd be looking down at everything.
No way.
This gives us a very, very, very easy way of drawing everything we want. So if we're going to create our shapes in this space, there's some things that we want to remember. If we have a box and it's above the horizon line, we're going to see below the box. And if it's to the left of the center, we'll probably also see to the right of the box. So that changes the attitude of our shape. Set it to multiply. There we go. So it'll turn. And if it's below the horizon line, we're going to see the top of the box. And since we're to the right of center, we're going to see the left side, because that's how that would work.
No way.
If it was dead center, then we would probably see neither top nor bottom or left or right. However, if we do turn it to the right some, we're going to see some of the right of the box, or some of the, turn to the left, we're going to see some of the right of the box, and vice versa. And that's how we would manipulate it in 3D space, more or less. When we're dealing with a 2-point perspective, let's create a new horizon line on this layer. And with a 2-point perspective, what that's basically meaning is that we're covering 2 points of that vanishing point we talked about. So if this is the center of our box here, or one of the corners right here, then this point would connect here, this point would connect there, top, the same thing, would connect to those vanishing points, right? And then we can finish our box really simply in that 3D space. We can even erase those lines just to make it a little bit simpler now. And then there you go, you have a box in 3D space. We'll erase that out there. And it's in perspective. And because of its height, where it's placed at towards the horizon line, we're not seeing above or below it so much. But what we could do, if this box was clear, connect that line there, connect that line there, and now we have a very clear, transparent box. And same thing, we want to make the top. There you go. We're going to erase those connecting lines. And there's your clear box in perfect 3D space. Notice the parts above the horizon line are now visible from the bottom, and same thing with the parts below are visible from the top. So what we said initially holds true, and this works with any kind of a shape. There's another type of perspective that you really ought to pay attention to, because this is really going to change a lot about your understanding of actual depth. Because if we just drew everything like that, we probably would get a sense of some shapes. So let's do some quick boxes. Okay, we'll do horizon line here, horizon line there, bam, 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 bam. Do a box here, and then we'll do a box here, here, and here. These three boxes, which for all intents and purposes, we'll say are the same exact color. Now we get a sense of depth because they trail off, but we don't know how far it goes because these boxes unfortunately are the same exact color more or less. So we don't really get a sense of how far apart they are, how big one needs to really be. And that's when we get into something called atmospheric perspective. Now, atmospheric perspective, quite simply, is just saying that as things recede into the back of the environment, they tend to adopt the color and value of the atmosphere. That's why mountains in the faraway distance tend to be on a nice blue sky background, tend to be kind of bluish. It's because they've adopted that color. So in this case here, since we're working entirely in gray, let's do this. Objects that are closer are usually darker or more saturated in appearance than objects further away. They're far more saturated because we see them up closer for what they are. So we can do this more saturated one here, and then one back here is going to adopt a little bit more of that atmospheric color. So now with our three boxes, we have a little bit more depth to them as this one recedes to the background. We're going to make that horizon line also, since it is further into that perspective, we're going to make it adopt that color too. And so now we get a much more sense of depth as it recedes to the horizon. And that front box feels a lot closer to us than the back box does in a couple of different ways. Scale, because of the 2-point perspective, and then in value because of the atmospheric perspective. So if we took some really light value gray and turned that horizon line into maybe some mountains, you might get a sense that you're in some sort of like a desert wasteland, and these are the mountains in the distance, and these are like traits of some kind of valuable. And you can get a little bit more crazy by adding in some lighting. So we get a little bit heavier light here, a little bit heavier shadow. A little bit more shadow than that. These are just really super rough shadows, so don't come at me. No way! And so now we have these three boxes that are in perspective and in a couple of different ways. They've been lit, and there you go. It's a quick, easy way to understand perspective. Above the horizon line, you're looking under it. Below it, you're looking on top of it. And then in depth, it will adopt the atmospheric color. So hopefully that helps you guys out. This has been a little bit of a quick tip. I look forward to seeing you guys in stream, twitch.tv/DaveHollandArt, all one word, no hyphens. And check out my website, dave-holland-art.com. And then don't forget to pick up my free ebook, okay? That'll be in the description below. So thank you guys so very much for watching. All of my other links and social media details will be down there with that free ebook link. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and an even better tomorrow. I'll see y'all. Bye.